The Baltimore Orioles win a nail-biting contest on opening day. I'm going to break it all down for you. It's the official Baltimore Orioles postgame show. We're back. Baseball's back, and the Orioles starting 2023 off the right way. What's going on, Flex Zone family, Orioles fans? We're back for the 2023 season of great expectations. That's what I'm titling this season. And the Baltimore Orioles get an opening day win by a score of 10-9 over the Boston Red Sox in what was a nail-biting contest early and often. If you're just joining us for the first time, hit that subscribe button. Welcome to the channel. We do Orioles content all year round. I'll have post-game shows throughout the year, content throughout the year, videos, predictions. You can check out all of our predictions on the channel. I broke down the manager, infield, outfield, starting pitching, bullpen, and even gave you my predictions, 88 wins, and the team MVP, which I look good about early on. Now, the Orioles get a 10-9 win, and this game started out quickly. We were mowing them down and moving through the lineup quickly. We were tied at 1 after the first 2 innings. Kyle Gibson looked solid in his first start. I actually didn't know he led and leads the major leagues in double plays that he's induced since 2014. He got a big double play at the end of the 4th inning. I think he did very, very solid. I'm going to give him a B+ in his debut. 5 innings. That's all we can ask for from a starter. Gave us 4 earned, 3 Ks, 1 walk. He doesn't walk a lot of guys either. I like that a lot about him. For the Red Sox, Corey Kluber was a guy that was linked to the Orioles, but the age and you can see the velocity is down in his approach and his pitches. Goes 3 1/3, 5 earned, 4 Ks, 4 walks. Felix Bautista comes in and continues where he left off last year. Remember, I told you guys I could see him with 25 to 30 saves. 1 inning, 1 earned, 2 Ks, 1 walk. Started out a little shaky, did give up a run, but he shut it down as only Felix Bautista can. He regrouped, stayed calm under pressure, which you love to see from a closer when faced with adversity, and he came through. But the big story of today, it's the national coming out party. The guy who's exceeding the hype, who's good as advertised, and maybe even a bit underrated. Our player of the game, which we're going to start with, it is none other than the MVP, which I predict which will be for the Baltimore Orioles this year, their team MVP, the all-star catcher for the all-star game, and a guy who will be in MVP conversations for the American League for years to come. Let's go ahead and give it up for our boy, the guy who I predicted for MVP, Adley Rutschman. He is the opening day player of the game, first major league catcher in major league history with 5 hits in a game. Big shouts out to Adley Rutschman. You just getting horns, you're getting bombs, you're getting all the sound effects, Adley. 5 hits on opening day, first catcher to ever do so. Living up to the hype, a guy who's projected to be an all-star, showing the world he can do it all. Adley had a hell of a game today. He had 5 hits. He was thrown out once trying to go for a double, but my goodness, he was fantastic. He even had a walk in there as well. So he pretty much did a little bit of everything today. Mullins, he went 1 for 4. Rutschman, as I mentioned, hit second, went 5 for 5. Santander went 2 for 6. Mountcastle, 1 for 4. Gunnar, he went 0 for 3, but did have a walk. Gunnar is one of the best young hitters in the game, and he's one of the most patient young hitters in the game and draws a lot of walks. Urias had a big-time home run. It was great to see Urias in the field with his gold glove at third. Gunnar was a DH. We saw Santander in left field today, and we saw Austin Hayes in right field, and I think that's because of the pesky pole and the weird dimensions in right field at Fenway Park. Austin Hayes 0 for 5, but I think he hit the ball hard. Adam Frazier with 2 doubles, 2 for 4. Jorge Mateo, 2 for 3. Up and down the lineup, this team put up 10 runs. Anytime you put up that many runs, there's a good chance you're going to win the baseball game. And the Orioles were a little shaky in the bullpen. We know some injuries with Dylan Tate and Michael Givens, but Brian Baker really giving up his first runs in a long time. I think Ciano Perez was fantastic, but Brian Baker was a little shaky. And I think I'm glad Felix Batiste was able to come in and solidify this game. Now, I did think this game was going to come down to the bullpen, and I thought the Orioles bullpen was better than the Red Sox bullpen. That proved true. I thought Kyle Gibson would go 4 to 5 innings. He did. I think, like I said, he gets a B+ in his first game. I like what he did. I thought he was very good in the strike zone, doesn't walk a lot of guys, gets ground balls, gets double plays, get out of an inning, and can pitch a high pressure situation. And like I said, the Orioles, it's 100. It's one of 162. I can't put too much stock into it. I can't take anything away from what they did. I can't take anything away from what they're trying to do. This is one of 162. I said they're going to have to win one-run ball games. They're going to have to win divisional games, and they're going to have to play better on the road. Check, check, and check. Win a one-run game, win a divisional game, and win a game on the road where you had the lead and you stayed strong. Now, last year when the Orioles got a lead, it was no looking back. But it's game one, dealing with some injuries. I said the bullpen may struggle a little bit early on, but if they can just hold on, get some wins, eke some games out, maybe you have to muster up some runs early on. But it looks like the offense is already clicking, and I think the offense is going to be better than people give it credit for. We know the defense is very good. Rutschman, he's off to a hot start. Now, there will be games where he may go over 5 or 3 Ks, but we cannot beat this guy up. He's going to be fantastic. Henderson didn't have a hit today, but you know he's coming. I think Hayes hit the ball very, very well. I think this lineup in general was very patient, very Yankees and Red Sox and Rays-esque of how they take pitches and work counts and work them in their favor to get on base. And then when this team got on base, they stole. They were stealing bases. I thought they would be good at stealing bases. They did a really, really good job with that. Frazier had a steal. Mateo had 2 steals. Mullins had 2 steals. It was great. They did have one error. Mateo did have one, and Cedric Mullins had an error as well. Adley Rutschman's last hit could have been called an error as Devers did bobble the ball, but they ruled it a hit, so no complaints here. Keegan Aiken came in after Gibson went out. He had one inning, 1 hit. Perez, 1 inning, no hits. Brian Baker, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 runs. Gillespie, we saw him for the first time. He did 1/3 of an inning with a K, and Bautista closed it out. But you look at Aiken, you look at Perez, Bautista, they're going to have to hold down the fort right now until Dylan Tate and Michael Givens comes back. And just think how much better the bullpen will be when those guys are healthy. And I think Brian Baker will get it together. Let's not forget, a lot of times early on in the season, some guys struggle hitting, some guys struggle pitching. Let's give him a couple more outings and see how he does. I think he'll be able to pick it back up. He can't get much worse. I'm really, really proud with what Gibson did. If Gibson and the rest of the starters this season can give you 5, 6 strong innings, keep it under 5 runs, I think the Orioles are going to be in a lot of games, hence why one-run games are very, very important to me. This team, they don't quit. They embody the personality of the city and the manager. They got out to a hot lead. The offense bought their A game. Starting pitching was solid. Like I said, I give Gibson a B+. It's going to be intriguing to see. The Orioles do have an off day tomorrow. They get back at it Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock, as it'll be Dean Kramer taking the hill against Chris Sale. So that should be an interesting matchup. Remember, I had Gibson, Kramer, and Irvin with 10 wins this season. Gibson is already making me look good with the first win of the season. I think he can get 9 more. Rutschman, team MVP. I said he could hit over 20 to 25 home runs. He hit a home run today, went 5 for 5. And you know he's giving you A+ defense behind the plate. Called a pretty good game, in my opinion, especially in that 9th inning with Felix Bautista to strike out with that splitter to end the game. But Adley Rutschman is our player of the game. The Orioles get the win 10-9. I'm going to take this win. Yes, the bullpen is a little shaky, but they held on. They bended a lot, but they didn't break, and the Orioles got the win. Let me know. Sound off in the comments. What do you guys think about this game today? It's exciting. It's springtime. Orioles baseball is back. The Orioles are expected to compete. They aren't getting a lot of national love, but I think a lot of people will take note to Rutschman and what he is and how he may have even been a little underrated. And you look at a guy like Gunnar Henson, projected to win Rookie of the Year. And don't forget Grayson Rodriguez, DL Hall, Dylan Tate, Michael Givens will be back. John Means will be back eventually. So this team is still finding their identity. They play good defense, and I think they can manufacture, facilitate runs, which they did today on the base paths, getting steals, hitting doubles. I think they'll hit a lot of doubles, and I think they'll hit a little more home runs than maybe teams give them credit for. The league will give them credit for with guys like Mountcastle when he gets going. a middle of the lineup guy, Santander. I'm excited. A win is a win is a win. It's one of 162. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But like I said, one-run games, road games, divisional games are going to be very, very important for this team. Orioles get the win 10-9. Sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the Orioles getting this big-time opening day win. They held on. They had the lead. They were up. They were up 5-2 after 4 innings. Then they were up 8. They were up 8-2 after the 5th. Then 2 runs from the Red Sox in the 6th made it 8-4. Then they went up with 2 more runs in the 7th, 10-4. Then the Red Sox with 3 in the 8th and 2 in the bottom of the 9th, making it a 10-9 game. The Orioles had 15 hits, one shy of the opening day record, where they had 16, 10 runs, 2 errors. Red Sox, 9 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. Like I said, Kyle Gibson, he's right there with Rutschman as the player of the game, keeping this game pretty close. Could he have maybe won another inning? Yeah. Could he have maybe went out for another batter or 2? Yeah. But I like when he was pulled, keeping him fresh. It's the first game of the season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Rely on your bullpen. The bullpen did well early on, but Baker struggled a little bit. But I think Batista holding it down is very, very important for them. Like I said, I predict the Red Sox to finish last in this division. The Orioles should be at least third, no worse than third in this division. 88 wins. Rutschman is my MVP. But let me know, what are your predictions? What do you think about this win today? Are you a little worried because the team did let the Red Sox come back? Is that a little worrying for you? Like I said, Rutschman is my player of the game, 5 for 5, home run, a walk, 4 RBI. Got to give love to Adam Frazier, his Oriole debut, 2 for 4, 2 doubles, a walk, 3 runs. Devers for the Red Sox went 2 for 5, 2 doubles, 2 for 5 with a double, 1 RBI, 2 runs. Like I said, the Orioles had 15 hits today. Just think if you get half of that every game. That's 7, 8 hits a game. I think we can rock with that. And just think about it. Gibson, keeping that magic number under 5 as ERA for this team. They can give up less than 5 runs, and they're able to consistently hit and work counts and get on base and manufacture runs when the long ball isn't always working. That's fantastic. That is fantastic for this team. You have to love what you've seen from the Orioles today. But we'll be here throughout the season. Once again, big ups to Coach Manager. Big up to the rest of the Orioles. Big up to just them today. They did a fantastic job. Again, Adley Rutschman dropped some bombs for him because he's letting the world know he's hitting bombs out of the park, and he's doing a fantastic job with this Orioles team. But Orioles content. Orioles season is here. We got previews all over the channel. Manager, infield, outfield, starting pitching, bullpen, my overall season prediction. Post-game show today. We'll be here throughout the season. You won't get a post-game show every game because 162 in my schedule, but you'll get content at least multiple times a week. At least every week I'll try to recap the week that was. Any breaking news, we'll try to put it out for you here on the YouTube channel. Sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the Orioles 10-9 win over the Red Sox. God's favorite host, BKD. Check out all our previews. Comment, sound off. Let me know your thoughts on the win today. Adley Rutschman, his performance. Kyle Gibson, his performance. Adam Frazier, his debut. Anything you didn't like? The bullpen, they did struggle a little bit, but they're dealing with some injuries, so be patient. Let it play out. It's a marathon, not a sprint, because they could lose a game like this. They could have a game where they don't score but 1 or 2 runs. I thought this was going to be a lower scoring game. The Orioles bought their offense from Sarasota. Let's see what happens. I'm expecting about 88 wins and in contention for that last wild card spot. They started off on a good foot today. Happy recap. Orioles, 10-9 win over the Boston Red Sox. They'll do it again Saturday afternoon. Game time versus Chris Sale. We'll see what Sale has left in the tank. We'll see what Kramer, who I predict with 10 wins along with Cole Irvin, Kramer, and Gibson. Adley Rutschman, again, player of the game, 5 for 5. Fantastic outing today. Kyle Gibson did his thing. Good as advertising, getting those double plays. I'm signing off, y'all. Happy recap. Orioles get the win over the Red Sox. 10-9. God's favorite host, y'all. Peace. Good job, O's. Let's keep it going, baby.